Off we go.
Should we start?
We can start.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone here. Glad we could all get together. I'm here to call the order of the directors of the USA Niagara Development Corporation for Monday, November 24th, 2014. As noted on the agenda posted to the Internet, we welcome public comment on the items on the following agenda. To ensure maximum opportunity for participation, speakers representing themselves may speak for up to 2 minutes each, and those representing groups may speak for up to 4 minutes. Speakers' comments may address only items considered at today's meeting. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda. If so, I would ask you to please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you may recuse yourselves from any discussion or vote with regard to such items or items. Yes, yep. Paul?
I do have a conflict we do business with Unilam and our other company, Nanco. We're partners in a deal, so I would recuse myself from that.
Duly noted. Thank you. The first item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes of the March 27, 2014 Directors Meeting. I have approval.
I'd make
any questions?
One change on the minutes that Senator Maziar's name misspelled. So for the record, if we can correct that going forward, I think that would be an appropriate thing to do.
Anything else? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
Second.
Gary Smith, Director Williamson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. Chris Shefflin will present the remainder of the items on the agenda. The first item is a request for authorization for the corporation to enter into an agreement with the City of Niagara Falls in connection with the Niagara Falls Convention and Conference Facility Civic Project. Chris, will you please take it from here?
Thank you, Francine. Good afternoon, everybody. USA Niagara Development Corporation spent $20 million to develop the Niagara Falls Conference Center, which we, the corporation, continue to own. USA Niagara has invested an additional $12.5 million to restore Old Falls Street, which, of course, the city owns. Since 2003, the city and USA Niagara have had an agreement whereby the city contributes funds to the operations of the conference center. And since 2009, once the Old Falls Street work was completed, the city and USA Niagara have had an agreement whereby the city contributes funds for both the conference center and Old Falls Street. The only exception to that was the year 2013. It is recommended today to the directors that the corporation and the city enter into a new agreement. The agreement continues funding for the Conference Center and Old Falls Street for calendar years 2014 through 2018. The city will fund projected operating and capital investment budgets in the aggregate amount not to exceed $1.5 million per year. Under the terms of the agreement, the city's obligation to make payments to USA Niagara is expressly contingent upon the city receiving its annual share of casino revenues pursuant to the gaming compact entered into by and between the Seneca Nation of Indians and the State of New York. If at any time during the agreement USA Niagara receives funding from the State of New York or any other entity to undertake and or carry out any or all of these activities contemplated by the Memorandum of Understanding, then the city's obligation as described in this MOU shall cease. On September 29th of this year, 2014, the Niagara Falls City Council approved the city entering into this agreement with the USA Niagara. And so based on the foregoing, the staff recommends that the board authorize USA Niagara to enter into the agreement with the city on the terms and conditions set forth in these materials.
Any questions or comments from the directors? Comments from the public? If not, I'd like to motion for approval.
So moved.
Director Williamson, second.
Second.
Director Nanula. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Chris will now present an item relating to the 333 Rainbow Boulevard General Project Plan, Niagara Falls, New York, for the director's consideration.
Thank you, Francine. Just before I start the second item, for the record, I'd like to welcome Niagara Falls Mayor Paul Deister. Thanks, Mayor, for being here. The second item, 333 Rainbow Boulevard. The project site is located on approximately 1.8 acres at 333 Rainbow Boulevard at 4th Street, Niagara Falls, New York. The site is a significant parcel in the heart of the city's downtown tourist district and is located in proximity to the State Park, the Niagara Falls Conference Center, the Seneca Casino Complex, and a number of other downtown hospitality establishments. The project involves providing $980,000 in assistance to facilitate a $10.16 million mixed-use development on what was for years, maybe decades, a vacant 1.8-acre land parcel along Rainbow Boulevard in downtown Niagara Falls. The project is a new 65,000 square foot building containing 110 hotel rooms and ground-level food and beverage and/or retail operations open to the general public. The applicant for the project is Plotty Niagara Incorporated, a local Niagara Falls hotel development company founded by Antonio Strangio with his sons Frank and Anthony of Niagara Falls, New York. They have owned and operated the Quality Inn Hotel and Antonio's Banquet Hall on Niagara Falls Boulevard since 1991. Plotty was formed to expand into the downtown Niagara Falls market with a new build hotel and retail space. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Frank Strangio, who's here this afternoon. Frank, thanks for being here. Continue on here. The financial analysis of the developer's pro forma indicates that the project would not be financially feasible without assistance from USA Niagara. Based on this analysis, the $980,000 in USA Niagara assistance toward the project represents what would result in Plotty achieving an operating performance producing an acceptable internal rate of return necessary to undertake the project and ensure its continued success. A benefit to the community, the project would create jobs and increase bed tax revenues. The project would serve the public as a recreational support amenity by expanding the city's inventory of quality hotel rooms and the breadth of choices for food and beverage facilities. In addition, this project contributes to a dense urban corridor along Rainbow Boulevard. Like other USA Niagara initiatives to expand lodging, restaurant, and meeting facilities, the project would directly complement the state's investment in the Conference Center Niagara Falls. Section C, you'll notice a detailed sources and uses chart. As in Section D, of course, a project timeline. I think the thing to note for the record, most importantly, is that the Strangios have ensured the building got up and enclosed in a pretty good hurry this late summer and fall, and they intend to be done by, I guess, March of 15 and ready at the worst case scenario for the season of 15. So progress has been steady and speedy. Just a statutory basis required in accordance with the Urban Development Corporation Act, the corporation and the basis for the findings required to invest in this project can be found on page 5 of the general project plan, which of course have been provided in advance to the directors. The corporation has determined that there is adequate basis for making these findings. From an environmental perspective, the City of Niagara Falls Planning Board served as lead agency, completed an environmental review of the proposed project. This review found the project to be an unlisted action that would not have a significant impact on the environment. The Planning Board issued a negative declaration on June 13th of 2013. Our staff at ESD has reviewed the negative declaration and supporting materials and concurs with this determination. Therefore, the directors are recommended to make a determination of no significant effect on the environment. Section 4, the non-discrimination in contractor-supplier diversity. Our non-discrimination in contractor and supplier diversity policies will apply to this project. Plotty shall be required to in any job opportunities include, solicit, and utilize minority and women business enterprises for contractual opportunities. And they should use good faith efforts to achieve an overall MWBE participation goal of 40% related to the total value of USA Niagara's funding. In other words, 40% of our $980,000. So with all that as background and information, the directors are requested to do a number of things here. First, adopt industrial, small, and medium-sized business assistance project findings pursuant to Sections 10B, F, and G of the UDC Act. Second, to adopt the general project plan as enclosed in these materials. Third, to authorize a public hearing as required under Section 16 of the Urban Development Corporation Act. Fourth, to authorize USA Niagara to make a determination of no significant effect on the environment. Fourth, to authorize the corporation to enter into an agreement with Plotty for the development of the project. Fifth, to authorize the commitment of funds in the total amount of $980,000 for the project. And lastly, to authorize the taking of all actions related to the foregoing of the action.
Excuse me, are there any questions or comments from the directors?
I'd like to just say that
Yes.
the goals of this organization, this project meets what we've been doing for years, expanding the inventory of beds at 9% leverage, it's a good project.
Oh, absolutely. And just to chime in with Director Smith's comments, I want to thank the Strangio family for making what I consider a significant investment in downtown Niagara Falls, adding to bed space that is sorely needed in terms of quality, and increasing the number of hotel rooms that are going to be available here in Niagara Falls. I really appreciate their efforts and the success that they've had. They're building on success they've already had for many years with Antonio's and bringing that to downtown. So I just want to offer my appreciation for the investment that they're making here. Anyone else? Mayor?
Just that it's very gratifying to see the owners and operators of another very successful, hotel and restaurant banquet facility operation making an investment in the downtown. And we're very confident given the track record of success that we've had out in the South, the 62 area, making good success of this project downtown. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Frank, and he doesn't get thanked very often for his service to the community as chairman of the board of the Niagara Tourism and Convention Corporation. So there's a little bit of payback here, Frank, for all those many hours. But don't bill us.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to entertain a motion for approval. Director Fax, second.
Second.
Director Smith, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Now I will ask Chris to present an item relating to the adaptive reuse of the former Rainbow Center Mall for the director's consideration. Chris will be joined in the presentation by members of the Uniland Development Company. If you'll all begin.
Yep, we'll do. Thank you, Francine. Again, Frank, congratulations to you and your family. Thank you very much for your investment.
I could not have done it without your help and support and advice, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your efforts and confidence in us. And I will say this, it won't be for lack of hard work. We'll put the work in and we'll get it done.
Thank you.
We do believe in Niagara Falls. We're born and raised here. We believe in its resurgence, and we think a lot of people around this table are really responsible for it. And we're excited.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for being here today. With the third item, as everyone will recall, the Rainbow Mall and 310 Rainbow Boulevard came back into full control of the City of Niagara Falls through a series of agreements that ultimately led to the 2011 development agreement between USA Niagara, City of Niagara Falls, and Niagara County Community College. It is that 2011 agreement that governed how we would build the $30 million Niagara Falls Culinary Institute, and it is also that agreement which led to the subsequent $35 million development agreement for the Hamister Mixed Use Project. The vision and direction of that agreement now leads us to the remaining portion of the former Rainbow Center Mall. The disposition of the remaining 200,000 square feet began in September 2012 with a week-long planning and visioning exercise with the renowned Urban Land Institute, and included input from all over this region, including many people who are in this room today. From the ULI work, we went through a formal two-step procurement process. First, a request for qualifications, and then a request for proposals with a detailed selection criteria that was analyzed by a selection committee consisting of 5 USA Niagara, Empire State Development, and city staff members. The committee determined that Uniland's proposal would best meet the evaluation criteria stated in the RFP. Uniland proposes to transform the former mall into the Wonder Falls Resort, a new complex featuring a hotel tower with world-class amenities, restaurants, and entertainment facilities, including a water park and various other retail and food and beverage venues. The project will create more than 300 permanent jobs and more than 1,500 jobs during construction. Preliminary estimates indicate that the Wonder Falls project will involve a total investment of approximately $150 million and is anticipated that the project will receive funding under the Buffalo Billion Initiative. The level of public investment will be determined as part of a subsequent approval of a development agreement for this project at a later date. Uniland is an award-winning full-service developer that has created more than 12 million square feet of development over its 40-year operating history. Uniland's partners on the project are Canon Design, an award-winning full-service architecture, engineering, and interior design firm, and Delaware North Companies Parks and Resorts, which is headquartered in Buffalo, and of course is a leader in the hospitality sector with a portfolio that includes world-renowned hotels and cultural attractions. Following the designation of preferred developer, USA Niagara, the City of Niagara Falls, and Uniland Development will promptly negotiate the principal terms and conditions that will subsequently lead to a development agreement. No such binding agreement shall be entered into until further approval is received by the Board of USA Niagara and the City Council, detailing the terms of the project, including any proposed public commitment of funding. Pursuant to State Finance Law, Section 139J and 139K, staff finds Uniland to be a responsible bidder, which is part of the action today. Section 3 of your materials, the development deposit is outlined under the general terms and conditions contained in the RFP. The preferred developer must deliver a deposit of $50,000 to USA Niagara within 30 business days after notification of selection by USA Niagara. The deposit may be in the form of a cashier's check or an irrevocable standby letter of credit. Third-party reports. In order to move the project forward, this is Section 4 of the materials, in order to move the project forward, pending negotiation, approval, and execution of the necessary binding agreements, Uniland must conduct a series of testing and assessments of the property as part of the required due diligence. And I just want to clarify, and I apologize, the materials may not be as clear as I would have liked them to be. What we're asking for here is Uniland is going to contract for up to $150,000 of third-party reports. The corporation, USA Niagara, is going to reimburse them for that $150,000. If for whatever reason the transaction does not get completed, we will own that intellectual material and we would have reimbursed them. If the project goes forward, which we of course fully anticipate it does, we will then deduct the $150,000 from whatever overall incentive we negotiate with the developer. So that's kind of the bureaucratic machinations of it. So if the materials aren't clear on that, I wanted to state that for the record. Section 5, non-discrimination in contractor and supplier diversity. Of course, ESD's non-discrimination in contractor and supplier diversity policy will apply to the project. MWB participation goals will be assigned to this project and will be assessed as project details emerge. That will be the next stage when we get to a letter of intent or term sheet. At this time, I'm going to pause in asking for a requested action. I'd like to introduce Michael Montante, who is a vice president with Uniland Development, and Kalina Kane, who is a real estate development manager with Uniland. I thought this would be an appropriate time to have them give a short presentation on the overall programmatic elements of the project, and then I'll ask the directors for approval on the requested actions. So with that, thank
Well,
you.
good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to attend your meeting and present the Wonder Falls project. We'll let Kalina handle the presentation, and then we'll answer any questions anyone has afterwards.
Okay. Chris didn't tell me about this 4-minute limit, so I'm going to try to take out.
Don't worry about
it. Give me a 30-second warning before you turn off the lights. So, once again, thank you for your time. We're really happy to be here with you all and presenting just an overview of the Wonder Falls Resort. I'm a native of Niagara County, so I have a lot of fond memories of downtown Niagara Falls, so I think I can speak for my whole team when I say that we're really excited about the possibility of being part of a project to have a significant impact on downtown Niagara Falls and the whole region. A really quick overview for those of you that aren't as familiar with Uniland Development Company. We're a leading developer and real estate portfolio manager throughout Buffalo and Rochester corridor. It's a local company, family-owned, 40 years old. As Chris mentioned, we've developed over 12 million square feet, currently own and manage over 6 million square feet. We're a fully integrated real estate development company, which means that we offer comprehensive services all under one roof, such as planning and design, capital markets, leasing, sales and leasing, construction services, property management. This helps to create efficiencies and maximize the value to our customers. Uniland's expertise encompasses hospitality, retail, recreation, residential, office, industrial, healthcare. Our projects range in size from 10,000 square feet to up to 450,000 square feet. Some of the most prominent projects we've had in the region are the Cross Point Business Park in Amherst and Avant, the redevelopment of the former Dulce building in downtown Buffalo. One of the items that we're most proud of is that we survey our tenants twice a year, and 99% of them say they would recommend Uniland to their friends or colleagues. to work with. We also like to play a big role in the communities in which we do business. We've contributed over $2 million to 190 local organizations, and over half of our associates contribute their own time and talents to those worthwhile causes. For this project, we paired with Delaware North and Cannon Design. As Chris said, Delaware North is a global company. They're also headquartered locally, family-owned. They're approaching 100 years old. Global hospitality and entertainment company. They have over 50,000 associates worldwide. The Parks and Resorts Division was the entity that was our specific teammate, and that's because they have experience with hotels and cultural attractions around the world. They've been in the spotlight for environmental, marketing, culinary, recreation, and management expertise. And locally, they manage the Niagara Falls State Park. Cannon Design, also a global company with local headquarters. They worked in the area for over 60 years. They're award-winning full-service architecture, engineering, and interior design firm. They specialize in projects from healthcare and education to corporate commercial facilities. And locally, most of you probably know that they worked on the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute as well as the Niagara Falls Conference Center. So you're all familiar with the property at hand, the former Rainbow Center Mall. And of course, what's of great interest is its location and the prominence of downtown Niagara Falls at the crossroads of Old Falls Street connecting east and west to the State Park, and also on First Street connecting north and south along the Red Line, hopefully connecting Old Falls Street with the Gorge and all that's planned to happen there in the future with the ecotourism. The RFP was looking at the middle slice of the building and redevelopment for that section. And some of the goals for this project were to lengthen the tourist number of days of stay, to have an attraction that would be year-round, and also that was family-oriented. So our team's answer to those goals is Wonder Falls Resort. It's approximately 350,000 square feet of year-round family attractions. And we see this project as just one piece of the solution to maximize Niagara Falls' potential as a global tourist destination. We feel it will go hand in hand with other projects, the other new hotels that are coming online, and also the other attractions such as ecotourism and the other items that are planned for downtown Niagara Falls. Wonder Falls addresses the tourism goals with an indoor water park and hotel resort. The water park will be an estimated 60,000 square feet. The hotel will offer approximately 300 hotel rooms and a hotel tower that will rise above the city. There will be an estimated 14,000 square feet of food and beverage, and we're very much still at the concept phase for ideas of what form that food and beverage will take. But one concept that we're considering is some sort of a local brewery with food options. We know that the breweries and distilleries are hugely popular right now. Downtown Buffalo is seeing a lot of success. We also know that Niagara County has some local breweries, and we'd love to develop that as part of this plan. We think that it will have its own appeal as a destination, and also will serve as another food and beverage option for any tourist that may be in Niagara Falls, as well as for the locals. We're also planning 72,000 square feet of entertainment and retail. And we see a lot of synergies to be realized between the aspects of this project and the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute. We want to work with them as a project's neighbor, but also we feel that leveraging those synergies is going to make this whole block, the whole project, better. So a lot of these uses will give visitors to Niagara Falls, New York, more options for entertainment, lodging, retail, restaurants, hopefully enticing them and their families to stay for multiple nights and any time of year. Another element that we just wanted to touch on was the street-level design for the project. We came up with this design to make sure that we were activating the street. The cut-through that you can see, here we go. This is First Street, Old Falls, and Rainbow Boulevard. So this pedestrian outdoor passageway would connect Rainbow Boulevard and First Street. That was something that the Urban Land Institute study had recommended. but we are fully embracing it. We think that it's really important to break up that mega block, make it a more human scale, and we also want to activate that ground level with uses such as the hotel lobby, retail, food and beverage, strategically placed so that we can really bring activity to that block. There's also plans to connect internally through the Culinary Institute's lobby atrium area so that we can connect from Old Fall Street to the inside of the block. This is, I think, one of the most fun images. It's artistic license on the skyline of Niagara Falls and showing what it might look like with the new hotel tower. We really feel that this project is a catalyst for the renaissance of Niagara Falls, New York. We feel it through the design and programming. It will have an enormous impact on the economy, the future story of Niagara Falls, New York as a global tourist destination. The estimated project costs are up to $150 million. We worked with Buffalo Niagara Enterprise, who analyzed the project and concluded that based on annual operations, so once the project is up and running, the yearly economic impact would be over $53 million worth of goods and services on Niagara and Erie counties, almost 500 full-time equivalent jobs across the region, and over $14 million in payroll income each year. So we think this is a great opportunity to help relaunch Niagara Falls as a place of local pride, global appreciation, and urban vitality. We think the economic impact will boost countless private businesses throughout Western New York and assist in the revival of our regional economy. And with that, we ask for your support for the project, and we look forward to working with you more.
Finish the item and then questions or questions?
You finished it.
Right, okay. Okay, so with that, thank you, Kalina. The directors are requested to make a determination of responsibility with respect to the proposed preferred developer and to authorize the designation of Uniland Development Company as the preferred developer for the adaptive reuse of the former Rainbow Center Mall, and also authorization to accept a deposit of $50,000 from Uniland, approval to reimburse Uniland for an amount not to exceed $150,000 for third-party reports, and finally to take any related actions to those other four items. Based on the foregoing, on behalf of the staff here, I am proud to recommend approval of the requested actions.
Are there any questions or comments from the directors? Well, I'm going to offer one. Let's start the ball rolling here because, quite frankly, this is a very exciting project. I think not only for, the core of downtown Niagara Falls, but for the whole, the vision that we've been building towards for many years. This has been a project in the making that those of us who have been involved with, government in Niagara Falls, years ago, were hoping someday to bring to fruition. Just didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. But I really want to compliment and thank Uniland and its partners for, again, making an investment and believing in the quality of this city to host such a project and to make it successful in the long term. And I really hope to see in a reasonable amount of time, the beginnings of the demolition of the Rainbow Center Mall. And no disrespect to the Rainbow Center Mall, but it was never that pretty. So this can only be a huge improvement and enhancement of the downtown core that will also draw people's attention. We'll also, give visitors another thing to do because that's all we strive to do here is to constantly give people an opportunity not only to come and visit, but to stay and spend money and partake in the community for more than a couple of days. And, I think, today's been an eventful day for all of us here. We attended a groundbreaking, and we obviously approved funding for a project that's ongoing, and now we're seeing our future. And I just couldn't be happy to be a part of an organization that's helping to make all these things come to fruition. So my thanks to Uniland and its corresponding partners, and we look forward to seeing this project and I hope I'm still here to see it happen. I love to attend groundbreakings. It's like the best part of this whole process is to be able to be a part of not only the groundbreaking, but then the opening of a completed project. I'm sure, my fellow directors feel the same, but they're more than welcome to echo and chime in. And we have to excuse Paul, but I'm sure he certainly, supports everything that's going forward.
I'd like to add that we're fortunate to have such respected developers. Do you have any, I know it's in preliminary, you don't have an agreement, but do you have any preliminary thoughts about the schedule, how long it would take to build out?
The actual construction, once it starts, we're probably looking at approximately 2 years, 24 months.
That's fast.
Yeah, that is pretty fast. Yeah. So we're doing a project now. That's about 375,000 square feet, and that's going to take us about 18 months to do. That's a very fast track project, and this one will be more of a normal pace, but there is also some complexity in this project dealing with shoring on both of the existing structures that will stay, and then also the complexity of the we call it the interior improvements of the project.
Michael, does the water park and the hotel go up simultaneously, or is one built before the other, or how does that?
They'll go up simultaneously. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll have our contractors, whatever discipline they are, stage once and do whatever they need to do at the same time for both the water park and the hotel structure. But they are independent structures, but will be built at the same time.
Okay. And how many rooms again?
300 rooms.
So it's a sizable hotel.
300 rooms, yeah.
Any comments from the public?
I might just offer
Mayor?
just 3 points. First of all, your two partners are both companies that we have a long experience dealing with here in Niagara Falls, but we're very happy to have Urban Land now as a part of the developer mix in Niagara Falls. So welcome aboard. I think your timing is brilliant. Second, I think that it's always the case that restaurant and retail, when they reach a certain destiny, become an attraction in and of themselves. But for decades, people have decried the lack of family-oriented attractions in downtown Niagara Falls, and I feel as though you've been very, very responsive to that in terms of your plans, and more than your plans, even your vision for what Wonder Falls will become in the future. I know that's a view that's shared by Governor Cuomo, because I talked to him about it, right? The need for more family attractions, and how we felt that this project was really answering a crying need, that we're building all kinds of accommodations, and we need to be certain that we keep ratcheting up the availability of all-weather 12-month attractions to keep up. And then finally, it was mentioned that Urban Land Institute had made the recommendation about creating a cut through the building. I can tell you that going back to almost 15 years, to the time when I first came on the Niagara Falls City Council, that it's been part of the people's vision for downtown Niagara Falls to restore access to the park and to the waterfront. And the Robert Moses Parkway South project or the Old Falls Street restoration are examples of that. But this too, right, is moves in that direction, helps us to overcome some of the negative aspects of urban renewal that many of us have dreamed about for pretty much our entire adult lives if you're a baby boomer. So thank you very much for helping the people realize their vision for downtown Niagara Falls.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Director Smith, second. Director Williamson?
Yeah, you saw that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. As you know, the information, the land presentation was provided
Chair Del Monte,
when the item was presented for consideration. I'm sorry?
I believe one of the directors said they were going to recuse themselves from this
Yes,
vote.
Director Nanula.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to put it on the record. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sorry, Francie.
There be no further business. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Director Williamson, seconded. Director Banks. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today. This has really been an eventful meeting, and I really appreciate all the attendance from those who are involved with our projects and for all the directors being here today. And happy Thanksgiving. And happy Thanksgiving to you in New York.
Thank you.
Thank you.